in shortly, everyone. Don't worry. And welcome to the Night Show. I'm your host, TK Days, Isaac, Sticky Orion. You know what you can call me. Oh, happy early birthday, Magus. Alright, and we'll continue with our nightly adventure of our last little bit of Final Fantasy 15 to episode Arden. This one says nothing about. Oh, it might just not have come up yet. No game. Easy as always. Having turned the Empire to shambles and shrouded the world in darkness, Arden, the healer of those who ailed, now sits atop the Lucian throne, denied him by the crystal some 2 millennials ago. Annie 766.
Long ago, there lived a man, blessed by the gods and revered by the people as their savior. His name was Arden Lucis Kyler, and he was to have served as the first king of Lucis.
Probably why this one doesn't show up, especially helps this is the last DLC that came out, unfortunately. Despite their fact there was supposed to be a DLC for Arya, Lunafreya, and again, even Noctis, weirdly. The story unfortunately ended on Arden's DLC because I guess, I'm not 100% sure of the details, but all I remember is that the rest of the DLCs got cancelled and they kind of moved on from Final Fantasy 15. Explore the Crown City.
So this is the city Solomon's built in the back of his own flesh and blood. Just look at them free of care, unaware of the war beyond their law.
In order to ensure the safety of all visitors, we ask that you please follow all staff instructions. Vehicular access will also be limited in some areas around the citadel for the festival's duration. In addition, traffic will be slowed entirely during the parade. We thank you for your cooperation.
What need is there to worry when brick and mortar blinds them to the suffering outside? Why venture out into the world when you feel so safe within? What a life to live. And that must be the king's castle.
I'm gonna point out this is the closest we actually got into exploring any bit of Insomnia or seeing the Lucian people outside of, well, obviously outside of what it looks.
Let the fight begin!
Damn it, Ifrit! Why didn't you come when I summoned you? You're supposed to be possessed! And stealing my thunder. Yeah, I'll admit, some of the context here is missing because I want to say, well, this might just be because it's the very first part, but I think some of it we're missing is just because The Tale of the Fallen King, Prisoner of Fate. We don't have the anime here. Of course, maybe I'm wrong, and I've never actually played episode Arden before, so let's just watch and see. The year is ME 734. Spirits are high in the Crown City as all of Insomnia prepares to celebrate Founders Day. Yet the citizens of the Lucian capital are in such a rude awakening. Arden has returned to interrupt their peaceful reverie and wreak havoc upon his farm. Wow, I did not get enough time to read that. Chapter 1, Darkness Awakens.
Oh, Arden. You can't expect me to believe that.
Oh, but I do. You have my word.
Well, in that case... You look exhausted, my love. Are you all right?
I am. The gods bless me with a power and a purpose to cure people of what ails them. I must see their will be done.
Your devotion shall not go unnoticed. The gods will doubtless be watching over you. Just as I shall be watching over you every step of the way. It seems to me the cure for your exhaustion is comprised of two things, one of which is rest.
And the other?
Is me.
Oh, Ara, pray be with us, always. He's alive.
Damn.
Just as the ancient texts told.
Damn, he actually does kind of look Prompto. Not that bad. I think Prompto's gonna age and look really bad when he's older. Might not be just listening. Let me hear what Prompto.
Don't touch me.
Status, everything is fine.
Roger that. The transport subject to your location.
And we'll be medical teams at its point.
What's the situation over there?
Nothing to report.
Damn.
Adachi. Get it back in the cell. No matter what. We can't let that thing off this island.
Yeah, I don't think I'm allowed them to do something here. Arden enters Overkill when his HP falls to 0. Well, in this undying state, his attacks deal more damage, but his maximum HP falls every time he takes a hit. When Arden's HP falls to 0, the game is over. Wait, I'm actually able to move? More King's Glaive. Even more King's Glaive. They're warping in and out of nowhere. Press circle to attack with your arsenal of royal arms. Hold circle to blitz every enemy with consecutive attacks. Press square to dodge incoming attacks. Hold square to quickly shell step around the field. Where is the other one? Land 5 consecutive hits to form a finisher and create an opening to demify the enemy. Press triangle while an enemy is vulnerable to demify them and harvest their life force. Demify an enemy. You gotta know he was gonna survive that. Wait, the Umbral Isles of Anogard. This is ironically where Noctis woke up after his time in the Crystal, Anogard. Chapter 2, Illusionary Truth.
Forgive me, brother, but the throne seeks only one.
ME S7 or not S722. We're bouncing around the areas, huh?
Chief Basilia would like to see you.
I wonder if that soldier from the beginning he demified is where he got the name Mizunia, because he apparently now already been going by it. I don't think this is close enough in the game where we got to.
Might as well head out. I dare say this outfit wasn't tailor-made. Not the most enjoyable view.
That actually looks like a pretty cool view, though. Although I wouldn't feel like it'd be something that get bored of too quickly. Yeah, it's definitely still.
Have a seat. Gods above, we thank you for the bounty you have laid before us. Don't want your food getting cold, do you?
Let a guy pray, man.
Are you enjoying your stay? No.
You've been asleep for years. Learning to appreciate the waking world will take time. Perhaps I can help enlighten you while we die.
Ask out me. Guess what I'll say.
Was your examination of me a fruitful one?
Oh yes, you've proven far more fascinating than expected. No wonder they kept you locked away. To think the powers of a demon could dwell within the heart of a man, it's incredible. The Star Scourge doesn't sap your life force, it gives you more. Your cells can regenerate themselves, and you can demonify other life forms as well. There's no doubt you are not a monster, a marvel. I can't wait to unravel all your mysteries.
Ask about his motives.
What is it you want from me? What about me interests you?
You said it yourself, didn't you? You were chosen by the gods. And frankly, with powers like yours, I'd say you're nearly a god in your own right. We need those powers that you possess. With your strength on our side, we could finally put an end to the gruesome war with Lucius. You too must desire the fall of the kingdom and cast him into exile.
My desires are all past.
The man who wronged you may have died long ago, but his descendants live on to this day. Surely you must bear them some feelings of ill will.
My feelings are none of your concern.
Come along. This is the fruit of my labor. A small portion of it, that is. I envy you. A human life is too short to truly understand all there is to know. Go on, have a look. Do watch your step, won't you?
You act like I can actually move a lot, but a lot of it, there's the rest point. Take a break and save your game at the sofa in the facility. Take a rest, why not? Let's see what happens when you take a rest. Oh, nothing special. Still, it's good to save.
That's what the revolution calls his power is absolutely immortal, and his body is all but attack. No wonder the Father King secretly away on an island danger ground. He undoubtedly feared this monster that challenged his reign. It's his misfortune to smile upon me. Though the delusion to get to our torture of 2,000 years, I am meditating curiosity for myself. The raging winds of storms may have caused all of us away. The waves parted between that day and led away. While I began to conduct visual research into the truth and Cutlander's most promising, I estimated his powers easily surpassing anything mankind has ever seen. Perhaps due to fear of just begun.
Fascinating, isn't it? I poured over ancient texts and found scarcely a mention of you. I barely believed you existed till I saw you with my own eyes. With your help, my research is proceeding smoothly. You have my thanks. This must be how the gods feel looking down upon our world. Here we have a model of imperial territory. It includes our present lands as well as our future positions. Feel free to have a look.
So it literally has everything. Arden's pants definitely do not fit him.
There's something you should see. Come with me. I found something most interesting on the Rock of Weathertoe. If my experiment on this specimen succeeds, it might provide the information you're looking for. This way. He freaks the inferno.
You subjugated God and brought him here?
He was sound asleep, just like the legend said he'd be, so we put him on ice. Do you think you can turn him
Into a demon?
If you managed to demodify a deity, you could learn from snow no mortal could ever dream of knowing. You'll access 2,000 years as memories, and if you can control him, he'll be a weapon of supreme power. It's certainly an enticing offer, isn't it? Just think you could exact sweet revenge through divine retribution.
How do you know what
I don't, but I know you have no other options. Well, shall we? Come see the fruits of my magic research. This way. The ancient civilization of Solheim, forefathers of our magic technology, once flourished on this land. Had they not incurred the wrath of the gods, they may have remained prosperous to this day.
And you wish to restore them to greatness?
To surpass them, which is why I need you to lend me your strength. But I'm certain magic technology and demons are the keys to unlocking the door to a new future. Lucius?
What's how? Kunmi Squad, adagio effect. Initiating
Shutting down communications until all clear.
So, you've come to kill me, have you?
Or die trying.
Not even a fight. Up there. You can fight enemies to fill up the Phantom bar. Use your Spectre arms to increase your attack power. To be honest, Arden so far has been the most... What have I identified? Damn, did I not do it? Hold R1 and press triangle to when the Phantom's bar is full. Inflict royal retribution on your enemies. Can I do that right now?
Oh, Infernia, grant me the power to take Somnus, his people, and his cursed kingdom, and I was the one chosen to be king.
Forgive me. I defied the will of the gods and refused to Somnus. You have been chosen to be king. I never dreamt he would try to kill you.
But he did. Somnus forgave. So thank you, everything that happened, it's all his fault.
Listen to me. It's my fault. I'm the one who ruined your future.
It's really not.
I can't. My calling is to save your lives.
Just like you saved that innocent man by turning him into a demon. Come. Why don't you
I got a feeling we're not supposed to get away. Damn. I will say this.
Once again, failed to save her. No surprise. A monster can do naught but destroy.
So I will just like to bring up one thing that a lot of this is apparently supposed to be in Arden's point of view, but so how much of this is accurate, might not even be true.
No longer shall I supplicate you for pardon. No longer shall I soldier toward the light. Nay, the path I intended is paved with blood and darkness. No longer shall I seek your guidance. This is my mortal trade.
Awakening.
The Empire's demonic experiments bore fruit before long, precipitating the production of a Magitech infantry. As recognition for his contribution to this research, Arden Zinnia was inaugurated as Imperial Chancellor. Thanks to its newfound firepower, Niflheim managed to break the stalemate that shackled the nation for more than 100 years, and, in turn, forced Lucis to scale back its magical barrier. The untimely passing of King Mors ushered in the era of a new monarch, and the young Regis Lucis Kylo succeeded the throne. Meanwhile, Arden began to spread the Star Scourge throughout the world, stealing people's memories and learning as much about the kingdom as he could. In time, those memories began to merge with his own, gradually transforming him into a wicked echo of his former self. And now, at long last, the time for his revenge has come.
Save your progress. Betrayed by his brother and bereft of his beloved, Arden is burdened with the blessing of eternal life. His feelings of enemy towards the line of Lucius grows greater with each passing day as darkness continues to consume his body and soul. That is actually something I want to bring up. The fact that apparently the darkness is corrupting him anyways, or consuming him. Why does it just for Arden to play his role as the accursed? Why do they need to make him a tragic villain like this? He's betrayed by his brother, tried to kill him. I'll keep playing and then I'll give my thoughts. As you know, there will be a review at the end of this. Now we're back in the present where everyone's killing shit.
Greetings, with the kingdom of Nations fated to perish.
Who is he? We've yet to identify him. Whoever he is, it's clear he wishes us harm. You stay here. I am going to put a stop to this madman.
Show the savior, wipe out the enemy.
Have you identified the creature? Not yet, but we believe it's demonic in nature.
Hold L1 and press the arrows when tech bar is full to make Ifrit perform a powerful technique. Ifrit will temporarily fight alongside Arden. Issue another command to resummon him into the fray. Viagra. No Hellfire?! One day. Not what I meant to do there, but okay.
Now I need you to locate and destroy the devices amplifying you.
As you wish, just sit back and enjoy the show. Now where in the world might those dastardly devices be?
Disable a wall amplifier to seize control of the surrounding area. Check the map to view the location of the amplifiers. Wall amplifiers also strengthen the Royal Guard stationed around them. Disable the amplifiers to weaken the enemy's defensive capabilities. Okay.
They seem to be positioned on the rooftops of the city. Find them and destroy them.
With pleasure. I'll be sure to give you rest as I progress. No rest for the wicked.
Press L2 to perform a phantasm leap, including point warp to a marked location. I didn't realize I was so close to one. Destroy restore the nearby mana funds to begin deactivating the wall amplifiers. Beat the newly activated Guardian to fully disable the wall amplifier. Shadow step behind enemies and attack to blindside them. Successful blindside strikes can leave foes vulnerable to demodification. Blindside strikes cannot be performed while in undying state. Something that deified them almost instantly every time. Guardian disabled. Sector A overtaken. Boom.
One down. It doesn't seem to have any effect just yet. Keep going.
Earn ability points by unifying at enemies. Use these AP to unlock nodes on the Demon Sphere to acquire new abilities and can aid your inner quest. Sure. Seriously, no. That's what I would do. Please. HP. Make me harder to kill.
Sir, one of the wall players has been destroyed.
Oh.
Is this a misjudgment? We haven't sighted any Imperial sources inside or outside. Then they must have sent in to do their dirty work. Stop it at once.
see that one's closest, but I'm pretty sure if I try to go up that way... I would have been very disappointed in the Royal Guard if he had not been able to stop me from doing shit.
Can't say I didn't try.
Okay. Let's see if we can make our way over there. As you explore Insomnia, destroy decorations and other objects related to the Founders Day Festival to boost your score.
The sweet release of
I feel like we're gonna do another one of the fierce ones. Which makes sense. I mean, if you want a Guardian, yeah, you gotta make the big guy. R1.
In times of crisis, they call upon the kings and lords to come to their aid. Bless us. If
I should probably done Meteor Strike instead. Next time. That's the second one? Oh no, I can't do radio sync that. Guardian disabled.
themes of chaos will
You
No fierce one this time. Guardians up! Last one. You can only dodge so much. Problem is I can't see where her back is, so... Strike! Boom! Guardian disabled. You've overtaken Sector D. Hostile stationed there have been weakened.
Target has been destroyed.
I'll be honest, I will say this, playing as Arden is very fun. Ah, fuck it, they're all on me. You done? Oh, nope, there's more of you bastards. Not what I meant to do at all. I kind of actually wanted a warp strike, but...
Can't say we didn't try.
Areas you visit and objectives you encounter are automatically added to the map. An icon and legend can be viewed from the main menu with triangle. So I just want to go to one quick shop because I heard you can get something. Shop. Buy hats for Arden to wear, then equip them from the gear menu. Yeah, apparently they use yen. I just find that funny. Yeah, fuck it. This is Arden's hat now. I'm very scared of Arden. Oh, I got it for backing up a bit.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
Yeah, I hate when I do that by accident. It's more because they're under the same button. I'm so used to just warping with Noctis. But let's take a break and rest. Arden is reading a car magazine. Saved, yes. Danger awaits within the Citadel. Are you ready? I don't see any of them.
Something wrong, officer? Oh, you must be His Majesty. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. Why are you here? Why, for you. The Royal Oaks. Who are you? You ought to know, being a man of royal blood yourself. Adagio. Here to bring you to
It's nice to see Ragus gets a chance to kick some ass. Although, he's not exactly... Oh, it's because I don't have the full bar. I was thinking of looking at this.
Would certainly hate to disappoint.
Oh, Ifrit is back. I honestly thought Ifrit abandoned me for the fight. Tech spell. Should know. Our protect spell's not gonna last much longer.
I won't give up the fight.
Try this.
Achievement unlocked.
Done already. But the fun's just begun. Summon the old war. How do you know about that? I've heard the souls of kings reside within those statues. Of course, that's only hearsay. Why not summon the wall so we can see for ourselves? What I wouldn't give for a chance to speak with the founder king himself. Come out, Somnus! How long do you wait? Huh? Is he dead? Oh, perhaps I don't know my own strength.
Yes, we know he's not actually dead. It's, you know, he dies in the beginning of the actual game.
Well,
Thus for our final boss. So there's Nodsworth, we're gonna fight a giant statue.
2000.
You are tainted and focus of the world. Return to the darkness once you can.
Fallen Savior achievement unlocked. I know I keep calling them achievements, they may actually just be trophies. I'll be honest, I don't know.
How could one so skilled possess such power? I was right to serve you away.
I'm not sure how that bar is filling. I'm gonna give it time to see how high it will get. Especially when I can keep doing this, it's different. So it goes up to all the way to 12. This part brings up the idea again. This is all from Arden's deal, because I don't know.
Until you stole it from me, you ripped it from my arms.
When I first dawned and put on the wings, and my face received my calling, I understood that the demons could not be allowed to remain in this world.
Since we're in this state now, I can't warp strike. Oh, now we're back. Can't actually kill that. Or we don't hold that one more form forever. I'll be honest, Rages felt more of a fight. Which is kind of insane because this is a giant fucking statue. Completed Return of the Savior.
What I did to you was unforgivable. But I did it for the future of our kingdom, of our people.
A small sacrifice for the good of society. How noble.
Our line has done everything in our power to protect our people, just as the gods bade. I was merely fulfilling my calling.
And here I thought I was the blessed one, but it was you all along.
I dare not ask your forgiveness. I do ask your understanding.
What? You forgive everything, and you ask my understanding?
I pray your soul find repose, brother.
And Bahamut's finally making a showing. Damn. Shows Ifrit might have been able to dodge in the main game, but not here.
Why the gods deny me revenge?
So just see, basically, the entire premise of Final Fantasy 15 story is the gods demanding this event. Ardyn was never meant to be king. He was meant to be the accursed shadow, the one to die.
You say I am not the savior of man, but his sacrificial lamb, and that I live only to die by the hand of the heir to an ill-gotten throne. That is the fate the gods have chosen to bestow upon me!
Submit to fate. There's, honestly, regardless what you choose, the same thing will happen.
Loath though I am to serve the shadows and surrender to the sire of the usurper, so long as it brings the royal bloodline to an end, so long as I get my revenge, I will submit.
If you do go against it, he still ends up doing it like this. Unlike in DLC, you cannot change fate.
Did you two know
Ardyn will always go against, which I find is kind of a interesting aspect, because the novel Dawn of Future.
Did you keep this from me?
I'll let this line play.
What about you, dear brother? Did you know? Answer me!
And that is the finale for fun. Nope. But yeah, basically, the choice despite leading to nothing in game, honestly, from the Dawn of the Future novel, which basically gave us the aspect of what happens, potentially good, the change in fate. Wait, oh no.
Am I alive?
No, these are something that
Perhaps not.
But basically the premise and idea is if Ardyn basically chose to defy fate, but I think there's more to it. But honestly, I will admit, when we watched this little bit of ending, my review on Final Fantasy 15, because like I said, this is the last bit for, this is the end of Final Fantasy 15 story. Not a tragic, happy ending, but a bittersweet, we know. And it ends on downer fate. Unless you take, again, like the book series, which gives us the happier ending where our main heroes mostly get to live. Final Fantasy 15, what a game. So many years we waited for it. I want to say 10 years we waited for this game when it was Versus 13. It came a new coming.
And kill you.
Was this a good game? I can't say it was a perfect game. Was it a bad game? No. At the very core of my thoughts on this, and I will say, this was a flawed but a right step in the right direction game. Damn, just seeing how they infect his lover in it, like, that shows he just stabbed both his brother and what was meant to be his lover. Yeah, I really don't see the need for, like, the betrayal, but I would say at my very core, this is a game that I feel like it had its issues, but they tried to make the best game out of it, especially when the game was first revealed as Versus 13, everyone was expecting this whole other gangland sub-game. We were trying to cloud a victory from whatever we can expect. But this game had a rebranding, basically. And the best I can even point out is, yeah, this game was rebranded. Like, again, I think it's partially because the failure of the whole storyline with 13, the whole Favela Nova Cristala kind of failed. 13 wasn't exactly, despite them making 3 Final Fantasy 13s, it wasn't really well looked. That partially because they didn't really work the best with 15. But the best I can say for, I said 15 there, not 13, but 13. And when this was Versus 13, the change in game and story, they changed the story. There's a lot to say about this game. I will say I really do wish we did get the rest of the DLC with Luna, Ariana, and even what would have been Episode Noctis. Not just so we could physically play the good ending part. But I guess let's start with characters. Luna Freya is definitely a character I wish we could say more about. I understand, I know she's base breaking, but I would say she is definitely the series' what I want to consider is the game's most tragic character. Because for one main aspect, she's not Stella. And why I say this is because originally when this game was Versus 13, the character that was in Luna's role was referred to as Stella. And she was seen, I guess, by everyone as the most amazing character. Like, she was basically given all this expectation to live up to a character we never actually got to see outside of trailers. Like, yes, I will admit the game does Luna wrong. Like, for as much as it's meant to be her story, I feel Luna is not present enough in the game. So I just need to raise the heat in my apartment for a second. The bad rap, and she's meant to be the love. Again, she's killed for a kid. Right? Basically, we were promised we would never be able to. We would need to save Luna, and the director. Excuse me. The director held his promise to us. We couldn't save Luna. We literally couldn't. But my promise. This is also something I say as an aspiring writer. A point in a story, there always needs to be a point for events in a story. Luna's death, I feel, does nothing for the story. It allows her to be reunited with Nox in death, and that's it. Like, it's implied over a long night starts when Luna dies. The only thing is, if you do a certain side quest, it was the frog side quest, it's revealed, the implied that the nights are already getting shorter anyway. The nights are getting longer anyway, so Luna's death does not actually relate to that, or it's not properly told, and this will eventually brings into my issue with Final Fantasy 15, the main point. But yeah, I will say Luna, she gets the worst rep of the characters. Yeah, she has some really stupid aspects of the game are related with her. Like, yes, I'll admit there's issues with her romance. And now you can see that it's fresh. But I don't think this is any good change for us, because we've already seen this.
The king sits there.
So you can shoot in chapter 14 of Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, basically you just see the story, but we've already experienced that. There's nothing more to say here. We got our final score. Commendable. Ouch. Well, it's probably because I didn't focus too much on new modifications. New information. Add to the data log. New hat shop open for business. Arden's Assembled. We're not going to unlock the Kingly Clash. I'm not going to do the Kingly Clash. I don't really see any reason for it. But, yeah, we played our part. But, yeah, Luna, I feel like she's gotten the worst rep of the characters. She really didn't get to play. Again, like, I honestly God don't see why she should have died. She honestly could have made her a party member. Especially because I feel most Final Fantasy games actually do have more than just 4 characters. If it's 4 characters as playable party, it's usually for a reason. Like, example, the first game there was the 4 Warriors of Lights. But other games like Final Fantasy V had, I want to say, almost 18 characters. I'm exaggerating a bit. Or even other games there were reasons. Like even I want to say Final Fantasy IV had, while it did a lot of fake out deaths, they did have more than just 4 playable characters, so you could always have the same amount of party members. But yeah, I would say Luna, I feel like could definitely have helped having her more in the story, especially as a party member, because especially for the fact that I bring up her romance with Noctis is, I will admit, not the best done, but I also partially think this is just because Luna doesn't get to be enough, has not much of a major presence in the game. Again, as I point out, this was supposed to be her and Noctis' story. And like again, part of like even like one of her complaints is she would really love to hear Noctis' voice again. Well, we can hear Luna's voice. We never really get to see Luna never gets to hear Noctis. Especially when you remember these characters have cell phones. And if you're wondering, why did Luna and Noct never call each other? And why do they use that book? Because of a childhood promise. Like that's, honest to God, that is one of the dumbest reasons I've ever heard. Also why Noct apparently doesn't have his, well, there's also a really stupid one. Instead, you know how the game implies, Insomnia uses Yen, and I'm not going to get into the detail why they use Yen instead of Gil. But the rest of the world uses Gil, so yeah, it turns out, yes, Noct apparently still actually has access to the wealth. He just chooses not to use it because he wants to live better, like, connect more with Combat, which is really stupid, especially when you have a perfectly plausible reason. Insomnia uses a different currency. They don't convert. Like, that's literally all you could need to do. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about Luna. Because, like I said, my biggest gripe is I thought that she should be more in the game. And I feel like expectations for her were too much. Everyone expected her to be like Stella when she was never promised to be Stella. Other characters, again, like I say, our main party members, it's fine. I don't really see any issues with them. Yes, they all have their ways to react. Like I will admit some things I wish were more focused on. Like I really wish like the whole idea with Prompto being a magic tuber is a little bit out of left field. It's not completely foreshadowing. There's some subtle clues, but not the best. It could be foreshadowed more. Some of it, like when it's connected to the Assassin's Festival, which is a purely temporary event, so it's not enough in the game. Ignis, not much to say to him. I've already made my point in episode Ignis, when I don't really care for what people seem to see. To make it, especially with the books in this game was Brotherhood. Gladio, again, I made my whole point with episode in his thing, or chapter 10. They fill their roles. They're fine. They're the characters that have enough. Even Noctis, I don't really like the idea that he has to die. But I don't know. Hero dies. Stories are fine, and Final Fantasy has done it a few times. this one admittedly isn't the one I consider the bestly done. That would still be in Final Fantasy VII's side material compilation. Not Cloud, but another one that's well famous for, but I'm not going to go into that detail for any of those who know what I'm talking about or can speculate. Or, now other of our side heroes. Sydney, I'm not going to give gripe. Oh, they made the first female Sid fan service. I don't really think she was meant to be considered fan servicey. I think it was just meant to the idea, oh, she lives in a deserty area, so her outfit was more based around the heat. And the old man Sid, his weapon side quest is annoying, but it's not enough to talk about. With him, Core, Ariana, and Iris. Well, I already made my point very clear. I don't understand why it's Iris. Why not just call her Iris? Especially that goes for the more connecting to the messenger theme with our character. All three of these, I wish these characters were more present in the game. Core, we actually did end up missing one of the parts. He actually is supposed to appear during the side quest with the fight with Cerberus. If you complete the side quest first, since we never actually do that because we activated the side quest for Cerberus too early, we didn't get the chance to see that. But even then, again, Core is a character I don't see why he wasn't there. Same thing with Ariana. She could have appeared in it, especially after she left the Empire. Like, why did she and Prompto have to separate? Only because, again, I just feel like a lot of these characters were wasted. Especially, again, I feel like because they focused too hard on the Brotherhood. So the only real party members that stayed with you were Gladio, Prompto, Ignis. Like, literally, what's even weird, I thought there was a point, at one point they were going to make a patch where you could switch these characters in, but even then, again, it was more, it wouldn't have added anything to the story, which, again, I just feel like these characters would have added more, especially these characters, some of them, they have perfect reasons for needing to stick with the party. Cord has to protect the last King Lucius, and he already said he failed one king, so why not have him join up again? And if you're worried, oh, the Marshal is meant to be so much stronger, well, have him join up, the worst case, like, literally, like, where the character levels would fit more willingly. Iris, again, she wanted to travel with him. Why couldn't she go? There is no particular reason she's not with Elysia. She could not go with them to Elysia. Alright, the Astrals are base summons in this game. I, honest to God, will admit, I don't like how the summons are done in this game. Partially because I feel like they're too unreliable, especially the only summons we really saw in game were Ramuh. Because the whole point with the Astral, they're godly figures. Like, you need to, they will come on the wind if you so the thing is, I don't like that. Summons have always been like those massive, like, badass characters, badass summons, like, you can do things. Like, I get you wanted to nerf the summons, but the fact that it's so unreliable and, like, it's almost that mechanic could honestly be taken out of the game and it wouldn't change much. Like, this, especially, we barely got to see any of the summons. Pretty much every character with the Empire was wasted. We didn't get to see too many. The only one who really got any premise was Arden, and that's because he's the big bad. Which I'll admit, Arden is a lovely big bad. I will admit, I don't like that he becomes a little more too much. I focused on the tragic villain. Like, even I think certain characters will have their character corrupted just to fit him more tragically. Like, I went, him being forced to he was never going to be the king. Perfectly fine. Perfectly denying his fate, like, even that whole idea, that is a fine. I don't mind that plot point. I like the idea. It's cool that he's basically finding out, but my problem is it's basically getting to the idea of his brother usurped him, which I feel is unnecessary because it doesn't make things less tragic. Like, he can still want revenge on everything, like the line of Lucius. But the betrayal feels like, again, especially because what's kind of really, this is the entire Astrals things. Like, this is Bahamut's plan, basically. And I'll get a little more into that, a little bit aspect. But yeah, Arden, I feel like the only part, I didn't feel like he needed to be made so tragic. Like, you can keep the part he was absurd, but without trying to, it's not necessary, I feel like, to make Somnus an asshole or a jerk-ass, especially because it doesn't really come across like that. I like to point out that in this DLC, it was apparently said by the director that this is meant to be from Arden's point of view. And even, or maybe I'm just thinking of the actual anime-based episode based on that, but still, like, Somnus being chosen, I can see Somnus more as the tragic, like, he's being forced to play this role, again, because a lot of this is, again, Bahamut's plan. So, I think Arden's a good villain. He's one of the things that, from change from 13, he was not meant to be such a big character from the Versus 13. But this is definitely a change that I think was very much more impressive. And showing just because the game isn't what we were promised when it was Versus 13 isn't a bad thing. Arden was a very fun villain. Like, even playing as an episode of Arden felt more like what I would have imagined Noct's power being like. Minus, demifying people, but what it more felt like using the royal arms. And like Noct's power to warp around. Alright, now I'm going to admit this is the more negative aspect. I will say this, Final Fantasy, for a game that was said to be realism and fantasy, basically just shows why we don't focus on certain aspects like that. Like, the very fact a lot of 15's story I feel like is missing is because, and this is notably what the director had said, they didn't try to make a complete story. And that's the part I don't think you should ever, and this is inspired, like, a complete story. The only way you don't make a complete story is if there's another story coming right after that finishes this part, that covers the part you did. But just saying, like, the fact the characters never learn learn things that aren't either told or things that don't happen, and that's my problem. You basically just made certain aspects that are, and playing the characters can never learn this now, because right now we're left with so many damn questions that we can never get the answer to, because you don't want to actually give us the answer. Like, the sheer fact, like, too much of the story is like, okay, how did the Astral Star Scourge, all that works, and even things like, they talk about, the Astral's death, and it becomes actually meaningless because we still see those Astrals. The Empire was taking out the Astrals, they killed Titan. We can still summon Titan. They apparently killed Shiva? We have Yetiana turning to Shiva right in front of her corpse. Like, so many things are questionable, and they're never answered. And already, I've made my point of, like, I don't like how certain characters are sidelined. The romance with Luna and Noctis is not the best. Again, not a lot of focus. For something that's going to be Luna and Noctis' story, I don't really consider very well. And this is based on what I know from the novel, Dawn of the Future, is I don't really like that. Honest to God, in the end, it becomes Bahamut is the big bad, who basically manipulated all these events just so he can wipe out humanity. Because one, it feels like it brings back the idea with 13, too much of the focusing on that, which 13's villain was also a final villain, especially, was not a really good villain. God just wants to kill humanity. But that's the thing, it's not interesting. Like, it didn't work well for 13, and they end up basically now combining too many things. Like, I like it. Basically, it just even makes the ending like this one we played through, and technically any player has played through. Absolutely down ending. Now that means nothing is going to stop Bahamut from killing everyone because he wants to wipe humanity out. Like, he just basically did all this to absorb the darkness and gain back power. So to me, it basically just comes across that that idea is, so now it's not even a happy ending. Like, I wish they could have just had Arden defeated, Starfish should wiped out by the power of light, and that's it. Noctis gets a happy ending, Luna gets a happy ending, the world is, like, even if you want to tell me, even without that aspect, is the whole downer ending is, humanity had to spend 10 years suffering from darkness, demon attacks all over. I'm not sure a good amount of humanity is even left at the end. On any end, even if Bahamut was going to kill everyone all. Overall, I think Final Fantasy, like I said, I already said this before, it's a flawed, but a game that's a step in the right direction. It doesn't help they had to go the director change, even a rebranding and restoring, but I will say this game is definitely an improvement over 13. 13 games, while they gave us nice characters like Lightning, Sarah, Vanilla, like Noel, Fang, all those characters. But it just doesn't feel right or worthwhile. All that, you know, like the magic stuff, I felt like too not useful, unreliant. But overall, I think this game is set in the right direction, but I wouldn't call it the best Final Fantasy. But yeah, without that further ado, I hope you enjoyed the show. Share, favorite, follow, like, spread it around. If you know others who can interested in my show, send them my way. I'll happily entertain you all. Until next time, this is Nitro signing off, and I will have the vote up shortly for our brand new game we're playing for this Twitch stream, because this is it, Final Fantasy 15. I haven't gotten my final bit of review. Hope you enjoyed. This is Nitro signing off.